I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at villageXchange@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Alright, so we have Metal Cat in the house, DJ Metal Cat.
DJ Metal Cat.
A very interesting stream because he says... Well, the name of the stream is Metal Cat's Non-Metal Extravaganza. He said that we're doing the 4 songs based on the stuff I listen to 10% of the time when I'm not listening to metal. So the first song up on his list is going to be William Elliott Whitmore, Diggin' My Grave. Whoops.
Yep. And hold on.
And also we're getting we have a little visitor in the stream.
Bap. Yes.
Here's the visitor. This is Leela, Metal Cat's kitty. Aww.
That's the kitty named Leela. Okay, guys. As you can see there, when you're the DJ, it is your day. There's the icon. There's the flyer. Everything is specialized to your desire, dear listener. So there we go. Also. No, not our collab. Not our collab. You got to jump on the next joint. You got to jump on the next song, bro. I just released 4th of July, but you were out there doing whatever. Okay, here we go. The moment has arrived. First song is...
William Elliott Whitmore, Diggin' My Grave.
Diggin' My Grave. All right, let's do this shit, guys. Let's go. Can you hear?
No. Here we go.
Are you filming right now?
I am.
Okay.
This is real.
How's it going, everybody? Oh, I didn't expect it. No shit. Check 1, 2.
Is that what he's doing?
I think that's what he's doing.
Oh. I'm like, this is an odd beginning.
All right, we're gonna get. I promise I'm gonna play some songs.
It's a banjo, right?
I promise.
Looks like it. I'm not really super familiar. Banjo.
Find out.
I'm digging my grave. like round is mighty hard. Oh Lord, I wish that I hadn't sinned. Oh Lord, I wish I hadn't sinned, and I could be with you again. Oh Lord, I wish I hadn't sinned. In the holy shallow where I must lay, in the holy shallow, but that's okay, 'cause I'll have peace on my final day. Oh, down in this shallow hole where I must lay, and this firewater is mighty cold. And this iron water is mighty cold, and I will never rest my soul down in this iron water so cold. Well, I'm digging my grave, I'm digging my grave, and my road to hell is surely paved with all the love that I never gave. Well, I'm digging my grave, oh Lord, I'm digging my grave. Well, I'm digging my grave, oh Lord, I'm digging my own grave.
I bet you,
Thank you guys. Thank you.
I bet you this is a song Sadie would really love.
Figures, she's not here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is blues grass. Is that?
Is this live? I don't know. Is it live? Who knows? Bluesgrass? You mean bluegrass?
I don't know. Somebody just said blues grass.
There, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, bluegrass. Yeah.
Bluegrass is a type of like country, right?
I
It's a specific kind of style.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. It had a sort of country sound to me.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like you were like by some creek. Did you ever read Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, any of that stuff? That's like classic American literature. I'm so surprised that your
We
mom
weren't
didn't
supposed
have
to
you-
watch. We couldn't read classic stuff.
Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn. That's like Americana.
That one they probably would have let us. I don't know. I didn't really have an interest in reading stuff anyway, so it's not like I was pushing for it.
I'm really blown away by the sonic range that the folks in our community have, because like before I discovered Korn, it was like straight hip hop. That was it. When I discovered Korn, I completely abandoned hip hop and like dove head first. Like I now obviously my palette is much more extended. Although I will say, it really isn't, because it's still metal. It's just sometimes I'm in a progressive mood, like when I want to do some science on my guitar, I'll listen to a bunch of Neo. Sometimes I'm in a contemplative mood, so I'll listen to a lot of Magua. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's still within metal itself. Whereas these guys are listening to like BTS, all the, you know what I'm saying? And now this stuff, and I don't know if it's because they're picking it and we know them, so we're biased toward liking it, or maybe it's not that I'm biased toward liking it, but my bias against it is lowered if it's somebody like Metal Cat or Pony or whoever that likes a different kind of genre. My bias against it is immediately lowered because it's somebody from our community. So I'm like, oh, okay, there's got to be something that we both like about it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you give it a little bit more of a chance?
Yeah, give it more of a chance. I don't believe like you can listen. I don't believe in neutrality or unbiasedness at all on any topic, but especially when it's something as almost completely subjective as art. I don't believe that you can enter into a piece and not have a certain bias about it. You know what I'm saying? So I am biased against what I think country music is, or folk, American folk or whatever. But because it's coming from somebody in our crew, I'm more likely to sit back and go, actually, let me give this a shot, which is what happened with this song.
I see. That makes sense.
And lyrically,
Let's Go Bacon. Everybody's saying we've done that song. I'm looking in our thing and I'm not coming across it, so I don't know if I'm missing something.
Amy has the link.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm certain we did that one. That's another one that got us blocked.
Oh, is it?
Falling in Reverse. They're crazy with the copyright stuff. Okay.
Why did it come up in my search?
What did you think the song was about?
Thank you, Amy. Well, I mean, he's talking about his life and, making decisions, not loving people the way that he could have or should have. And then I was a little bit confused, believe it or not, about the shallow grave thing, because at the beginning...
The hole is shallow where I must lay, yeah.
Well, he's talking about the road to hell is paved with all the love that he never gave.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
Such a good line.
Yeah. But then he says, and the hole is made with a pick and spade, and all the debts never repaid. Oh, how I wish that I could have stayed, but the hole is made. It's made. But then he said, oh, yeah, okay. And the hole is shallow where I must lay. The hole is shallow, but that's okay, because I have peace. Because I'll have peace on my final day, down in the shallow hole where I must lay. I don't understand what he's talking about. What do you mean?
I interpreted that he's digging his grave as in he's just living life.
Oh, so he's reaping what he's sowing right now?
Well, no, like, he's digging his own grave in the sense that everybody's digging their own grave. You're born dying.
Yeah.
And so, there's, like, the idea of, like, digging your own grave is, like, you're doing something that's gonna guarantee your death. That's what the term digging your own grave means. And also, there are, certain groups that part of their execution ritual is that you dig your own grave before they execute you. Psychologically to whatever. But I just interpreted digging my grave to mean that everybody's digging their own grave because everybody's going to die eventually.
Yeah, but he says, well, Lord, I wish that I hadn't sinned, that I could be with you again. Oh, I wish I hadn't sinned. But back, 2 places before, he says, but that's okay because I'll have peace on my final day. I don't understand. You're going to have peace on your final day, but you're saying you've sinned and you're not going to see God?
Well, he didn't say I'm not going to see you.
I wish that I hadn't sinned, that I could be with you again.
Yeah. So I think he's talking about his current experience. He feels alienated from God, which is also what I think he means by saying that his grave is shallow. That is to say, he's still got time to go. That he feels like, he's not having a happy time right now, but he knows he has other time to go. That's why his grave is shallow. Mm-hmm. But if you go up, he still acknowledges the bad deeds that he's done, which is really brilliant because to finish the phrase, it's my road to hell is surely paved. Well, the phrase is the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's the phrase. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
So, that's a sort of colloquial wisdom that says you can feel like you're doing the right thing when in reality you're raising hell. Like, so for example, we talked about this yesterday where it was like, oh, we're going to go in Iraq and we're going to spread democracy to people. We're going to spread democracy to people.
Uh-huh.
And in isolation, as a Western person, I think a democracy is a better governmental template than let's say Sharia in the Salafist sense, right? So spreading democracy to the Middle East in isolation is a good thing. It's a good intention, because I intend to impose democracy on people that I think are living a terrible life. But in reality, how do you implement that? It means that you kill 1 million people, and then now you have a constant military presence in a particular area, right? So that would be an example of the road to hell being paved with good intentions. Oh, it's good, we want to bring democracy to these people. And your motivation might have been genuinely good, but the way you brought about that good intention was you killed a whole bunch of people, and now it just so happens that your military has to have a continuous presence. So that's the phrase, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But it kind of protects you in the sense that It's not that you were a capitalist, colonialist bastard. That's not why you did that to those people. You did that to those people because you originally started out with good intentions. But what he does here is, no, that's bullshit. The road to hell is paved not with good intentions, but because your capacity for love is not where it needs to be. Look at the line. My road to hell is surely paved with all the love I never gave. That's the problem. It's not that you're just such a good person and you didn't factor in other counterfactuals. No, the reason the road to hell is paved with good intentions is because you didn't have good intentions. You didn't love the person enough. So I thought that that was really brilliant lyric writing and a good way to ironically deal with that supposed paradox in human experience, that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, because I don't believe that it is. But go ahead.
Well, he says the hole is made with a pick and a spade, and all the debts I never repaid. But then he talks about having a shallow grave, so it almost sounds like he's saying, I've done good, but I haven't done real bad. I didn't dig a really deep grave with all the debts I never repaid.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, the way he writes is really brilliant, because there's a lot of different ways that you could interpret this. For me, the digging of the grave is just living life itself with the understanding that you're going to die one day. And, you know, if a person says, oh, I'm in deep shit, that's kind of the idea, is like the depth of the thing is how far down you are in it. So while he's thinking about death and he's contemplating his own death, at this point the ground is shallow because he still has more years to go, is how I'm interpreting it. Well, this July ground is mighty hard. The July ground is mighty hard. My back is broken. My hands are scarred. This July ground is mighty hard. How'd you interpret that?
Well, again, if I'm going to go with what I was saying before, that he's saying the pick and the spade are the debts he didn't repay, and he didn't make a super shallow grave, but I mean, I don't know. The July ground is mighty hard, so he's having a hard time to dig his grave in July.
My back is broken, my hands are scarred. This July ground is mighty hard. And I wish I hadn't sinned, that I could be with you again. The hole is shallow where I must lay, because I'll have peace on my final day. The Iowa dirt is mighty cold, and God will never rest my soul down in this Iowa dirt so cold.
Maybe he's talking about how you reap what you sow. And so he's saying that, you know, it's difficult when he doesn't pay back debts, or he doesn't love people as he should. It's difficult to do those things, and so that forces him to dig a more shallow grave. But that he thinks that at the end that his intention is not to end his life like that, but that his intention is to make things right the more that time progresses.
Yeah. But his relationship with God doesn't end well in the song, because the last thing he says is that God will never rest his soul. That's the last thing he says about his relationship with God, which is, of course, true. If you are trying to relate to God, well, at least it says it right here. When he talks about the Iowa dirt.
Oh, yeah, the Iowa dirt was over
and
here.
And God will never rest my soul down in this diet. So the last time he mentions God explicitly, it's not a good thing. So, which of course, if you are trying to work to undo the bad that you've done, to try to love in the places that you haven't loved, because here's the thing, is that all these experiences are fleeting. So in reality, you only get one opportunity to love that person in that moment, and that moment's gone. If you say you try to make something up, all you're doing is you're just mortgaging the future. You're just saying, well, in the future I'm gonna do some, but that is a loving thing you did for that person in that moment. That doesn't account for the previous moment. So you only have the present moment to love a person. The past doesn't really exist, and the future, it doesn't exist either.
Right.
Which, you know, Bernardo Castro says none of those things exist because this moment doesn't exist either. Because we're all just the mind at large or whatever. But without going down that way, like, there is a sense in which the past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist. So you can never love somebody to make something up. You can never love somebody to make up for the lost love that you didn't do for the person. All you can do is love the person in front of you in that moment and take advantage of that specific moment. So if you're trying to live with God in such a way as to make things up to him, that's going to be impossible. Because the problem with God is that he's ever present and his standards are too high. And it's not because he's irrational, it's because he cannot change his nature. So his nature is perfection. So unless you can be perfect in a moment, we're never going to be good enough for God. So if you try to work towards God, in my view, that's putting yourself on a treadmill, and you will be digging your grave and going to an early grave for no reason. Because in my view, God doesn't relate to us
Like that.
He doesn't relate to us with a ledger where you cancel out debts. He relates to us like children and parents, or parents and children. So anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed this song. It was a deep song. It has a lot of implications for how you live your regular life and your own assessment of yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that the guy did a good job. It looked like it was live, so you're just going with what it sounds like from whatever recording they were doing. And it definitely had a good sound to it. It's not, not really my style, even, I like some versions of country. That one was a little bit too, kind of like church, kind of twangy, kind of something country that I'm not really a giant fan of. But I definitely think the homie did a good job, and his voice was very... I think his voice was perfect for the song itself.
This is a 9.3 for me.
This one's a 6 for me.
Felt the lyrics were really, really challenging lyrics from Metalcat. And this is one of those songs where it's like, I'd like a little 2-sentence blurb from Metalcat as to how he interpreted the song and how he experienced it, which you can if you want. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
if you send it in an email, I can read it.
I mean, you could just, like I said, just
or
a
put it in the
sentence
chat
or two,
if you
we'll
want.
put it up on the chat.
Excuse me. Do you like it for the sound, or do you like it more for the lyrics, or do you like just both of them? Anyway.
When he first heard of him, I read that he had a voice that would make a metalhead listen, so that's why I started listening to him.
That's interesting.
So there you are. Okay, guys, we have more non-metal music from DJ Metalcat in our metal channel.
Delta Ray is next.
Delta Ray is next, losers. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.